Hey everybody, this is Stefan from Lush and Salty Aquariums. Tonight we're going to look at my yet another cube tank, rounded edge, small. I'm currently running CO2 in it. That could be temporary. It's to get this Monte Carlo carpet growing. That really helps. I've had this tank for a couple months, maybe 3 months at tops, but already I've got total growth. What you see in here is my favorite plant, Anubias petite, lodged into the driftwood and growing up it, the Monte Carlo, as I said. Some Wassertang, which is actually a plant that kind of people use it like a moss. It's right there. And then some Cryptocairn, I think it's Wente. It has the purple U to it, which I adore, and it creates this forest of stems, which I also adore. I've pulled that from, all these plants really come from my existing aquarium, so I don't have to buy plants anymore. Up top, we've got frog bit. There you go, good shot. Always some duckweed. Then I've got the lucky palm that's growing into the ground. There's roots, and back there I put along with it some moss, some Java moss. You can see it's in the ground. It's rooting down in there. And I've got a piece of driftwood in back where I have just a simple ivy that grows in. The roots are in the water and it grows out. It just adds a little texture, part of the fun. There's a hang on back filter. It's that little kind of $10 knockoff that you can get on Amazon. And there's a bunch of different brands, but it's really all the same filter. They just rebrand it. So I've got in this tank, I'm gonna save best for last, I've got some of my cherry shrimp. You see those are from their neighboring tank, which is in my previous video, this colony, tons of them. Well, this is some of them. In here, you see a beautiful nearite snail, there's a couple of them in there. I've got cleanup crew, autosynclus catfish. You see a couple right there on the glass. They keep it algae free. It helps, and CO2 is really the main algae remover, to be honest with you. And now, finally, the daisy-eyed rice fish. I've got a school of these. They're an egg-laying fish, one of many rice fish. I got them from the Aquatic Collection, which is one of the more reputable online fish sellers. I got a school from them, and I actually found a few others in, of all places, Petco, a special order that for whatever reason the buyer did not buy them all or take them all, and so I did. There might be a dozen in here, which is fine, and they're an egg-laying fish, and they're fairly easy to breed. I could breed them. I know I'm getting some eggs back here in the Java moss as they go back in there, and I could really make us all struggle and look for eggs, but they're in there amongst those snails. I've seen the little opalescent balls, which are the eggs. Now maybe they get predated by a number of things. Maybe they hatch. I'm kind of thinking I'll see some fry pretty soon, despite there's some Cory catfish they could easily be predating, or rather I should say just eating the eggs, and maybe even the parents. I don't know. I don't think so, though. I don't think that's their big sin. I really love these fish. The camera doesn't do them justice. They have the great blue eyes, and they have a shimmery gold and red and green kind of combined color that varies a little bit like a mood ring. The females are bigger with those cute round tummies, and the males are a little bit more sleek. I think I have more females than males, which is always a good thing. That looks like a male right there, and that looks like a female. If I was lucky, they carry their eggs on their bottom outside externally for a period of time, so you can literally see them before they deposit, and breeders like to literally catch the fish while they see the eggs. There's an autosynclus, chomp, 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 chomp. They're the best. You gotta have them in all your tanks. Look at that, there's a beautiful Bloody Mary. That's what that's sort of, I think, what they call the super red cherries that are a high grade. It's also got eggs underneath its carapace. You can't see it anymore. That's called berried. When shrimps have eggs, they call them berried, and so that one has them. But anyway, the daisy-eyed rice fish, like a lot of rice fish, they originate in Southeast Asia and places like that, probably elsewhere. And they lived among the rice paddies, the flooded rice paddies, and environments such as that. So this is a bit more. I don't know. It's not exactly the biotope that sustains them, but they seem really happy. They're fat. They eat anything, but they especially like brine shrimp and small pellet food, the Hikari pellets. I love, I love all my tanks, so I don't want to be that guy and keep saying I love this tank the best. I am fond of it. I hope you are too. The scape follows the classic pattern. They want you to do an L going up that way, or rather swooping down. You could create that coming the other direction, as opposed to just willy-nilly plants. But with a jungle environment, you tend to get willy-nilly after a while. But there is that base structure that kind of gives a fuller half and recedes to more emptiness, and that's aesthetically pleasing and generally a rule of thumb in the aquascaping community. I break a lot of those rules, and I'm having more success than failure. And here we go. I don't have a name for this tank, but the daisy-eyed rice fish. All right, everybody, always keep your hands in the tank.